Man, we are getting that shit down.
Yes, we are. We're so good at this.
It's so good.
Professionals.
Professionals.
You guys didn't hear the click, did you? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Tonk. Hey, wait a minute. You know what? What kind of click do you like? Do you like a woodblock click? Do you like a digital click?
I like an organic. I like an organic wood because I don't like to be stabbed in the ear.
Yeah.
And as much as possible, if the band is playing right, the click vanishes. So, but I like it to be more organic and kind of sit more around a snare drum kind of area. Yeah.
I recorded with a guy a few years ago that loved a boop.
Boop.
Boop, boop, boop. I was like, really? Like, as a vocalist, I'm like, no.
But
no.
I understand the Dr. Beat, the OG, like, drummer metronome with all that kind of did have that kind of quality to it.
Yeah.
Drummers, don't at me. I mean, I never fucking used the thing, but I remember accidentally a drummer's headphones coming unplugged and hearing the most god-awful sound one could imagine coming from that thing.
To me, it feels like there's a countdown. That's like that show 24. That's what it sounded like to me. Remember that show?
I love that show. I love that show. That to me was the second coming of Kiefer Sutherland.
Talk about stakes.
Yeah.
Every show.
Every season.
It's going to blow up.
That guy must be fucking exhausted. How did his heart not explode by the end of the third season,
Oh, my God. I remember Jack Bauer, right?
Jack Bauer. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That was kids, this is back when there was linear TV. It was on Fox.
Mm-hmm. 24 episodes, an hour per week.
Yeah. It was like in real time.
Real time.
Yeah. Jason Reitman was actually just talking about that on the Neil Brennan podcast.
Where
he wanted to actually shoot the Saturday Night Live movie in real time. Like the amount of time it takes for Saturday Night Live to happen.
Holy shit, that'd be intense.
Yeah. I'm glad
I would watch that miniseries, though.
I'm glad he didn't. But apparently it's not a biopic, the Saturday Night Live movie.
Yeah.
All of the stories happened, but they didn't happen that night on the opening night.
Yeah, well.
So, I just ruined it for everyone. There you go. Hey, everyone, welcome back to 2 Shots Music Pod. How you guys doing? Please subscribe over there on YouTube. Give us 5 stars, leave a hilarious, dirty comment about this lovely, exclusive audio podcast. And follow us everywhere you follow people. 2 Shots Music Pod. That is the number 2 Shots Music Pod with an @ symbol in front if you're new to the internets. I'm Michael St. James. That is
Stu Miller, baby.
Hi, Stu Miller, baby. How are you doing, hunk?
I am. How you doing, player?
How you doing, player? Shoot.
I am. I'm really good. It was December and January were fucking busy, but I got to take a week off last week and travel a little bit. We recorded from an underground bunker in an unknown location.
That's right.
It was very nice, and got some R&R for a little while. Actually, did a lot of writing and creating and recording because obviously the studio is mobile these days, which is nice. And then played a big old, massive, successful, sexy tribute show on Saturday night with a bunch of really good friends. And
now, did you pull triple duty or double duty or quadruple duty on that? It was a police tribute band, a missing persons tribute band in Depeche Mode,
and a Blondie tribute as well.
So
part
missing,
of the missing
persons Blondie, right?
Yeah.
Missing Blondie
because two blonde, missing blonde, two blondes. One full of Zappa alumni, and Blondie, the pop, reggae, funk, disco, rock outfit. Yeah, there's a lot of different genres in that. And then there was Message in a Bottle Police Tribute. Absolutely fantastic. My lady actually did. She was the lead singer in the first band, sat in on a couple of songs with the Message in a Bottle, and then sang backups with the Depeche Mode band.
That's awesome.
So she did do triple duty.
Yeah.
I drank beer during the second band.
He said duty.
Yes, he did. So I drank Modelo, and then we went and had a fucking great slice of pizza down the street after the show. It all went fucking great. A couple of, like as any show, one of the things you get used to at a certain point as a live performer is like something is going to go awry. Yeah. Something is like some piece of tech's not going to work. I accidentally plugged a cable into the wrong input in my amp and had a horrible noise come out of it. It took me about 3 minutes to figure out how it worked, and what I'd done wrong.
What'd you put it into? Headphones or or send out?
Okay, so I had an attenuator on my amp because I wanted to use a real amp. I haven't used a real amp at a show in quite some time. And I brought the fucking 412, baby.
Hey.
I wound that 100 water up and got told to turn it down immediately.
Yes. Stage volume.
But I actually have this, I have a really great shout out to 2 Notes and their Capture X product, which is an impulse response loader. It is a cab simulator. It is an attenuator. It is a fucking great tool for guys like me who do still like to use real amps on stage. I can actually send them a direct line out that sounds as good as or better than my live cabinet and use the cabinet, just for my enjoyment. And
so you use that as a head, or did you have a separate head on it?
No, I have a separate head, and I run it into that, and then back at, and then you run it,
and then back to the cab,
and then out into the cabinet. So you run into the simulator. It basically generates an impulse response, and then you run that to front of house. I had them run a microphone because I'm a dick, but yeah, I can run a stereo impulse response. I can run 2 separate cabinets. I can run 4 separate mics simulations. It's a really incredible tool if you like the feeling of a live tube amp, which I really do. You run a little hard, and the attenuator's great. It's not super detailed. You can run it on 3 different levels. Like there's a full, there's a medium, and there's a high.
Oh, that's cool.
So I can actually run that down to about a 5-watt bedroom level. It doesn't drive a 412 that great, but you can do it. And so I accidentally plugged my return cable for my effects loop into one of the speaker outputs and got a horrible sound for about 3 minutes. And I figured, I was like, oh, fuck. And that's not bad. That's not, because that line's not carrying a load. And it's just like, it was like,
every mixer listening to this just threw their headphones off.
They're very angry at me. But again, I have played an entire festival in front of 15,000 people wondering why my amp sounded weird, and realized after I'm packing my shit up, my wah pedal was on the entire time. So I'm not going to go ahead and say that. I had a conversation with a pretty well-known mixing engineer. I will not out him on this podcast, but I did ask him, I said, hey, how many times do you run through an entire take with a band and realize you forgot to record enable a certain group? And he went, I have 3 Grammys. I fucking did that this morning.
Yeah. There you go.
So we all do it.
It's just a button.
It's just
a stomp pedal. It's
something shit. Some shit just happens. Anyway, it was a really fun evening on Saturday. I had a really great time. A lot of really great Colorado music scene friends there. Full house, happy venue, pretty good sized theater. I was on fucking fire that night with like, everybody's capturing footage. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're getting this. We're getting all the shit together for the socials. I beat some old people up.
That's nice. It
Saturday.
Looked great. God damn it. I wish I could have come. This sucks. But it looked awesome. Everybody spoke very highly about it.
It was very, very fun. We did it. We marketed it well.
Yeah.
Anyway, how were you? What did you do this weekend?
I just did some things. We had some emergency things to deal with, and it was just another day in the neighborhood here in Denver. And
is anybody wearing a cardigan and giving you hugs? Or?
Yeah, I know. It's all right. It's okay. And now it's just been a mad scramble of a bunch of things to do, and I'm in the middle of like sort of a writing deadline. I had a pitch on Friday for a commercial, and
very nice.
I'm waiting bated breath and such to hear. Just so you know, everybody, this is what commercials go for, about $35,000 on the sink.
Yep.
So there we go.
Yep.
Giving you inside information. The good thing about commercials now still, as compared to getting like a sink on... I'm rebuilding the sync business. Got a bunch of new sync people coming back in and out, and probably going to start representing music. So if you have unreleased music, you might want to reach out to me. If you have music that's coming up this year, mostly music that's been done in the last, I'd say 12 months or whatever, really ramping up that side of things. But basically the difference between like getting a song on a show that goes to like a Netflix or a Hulu is you have much more opportunity for royalties on commercials.
That's
because
true.
they're still being broadcast. And so, yeah, pretty excited about it. We'll see. we'll see. But it was fun doing the exercise and kind of getting that muscle back to do, a 28, a 30, and a 32-second stinger. And that whole thing and like what we're doing on the back end of it. So we'll see. But yeah, it's fun. Got a bunch of things writing wise that's, blossoming right now. It's just, it just sucks because it's not very immediate. It's a whole lot of you're doing it alone and then you're waiting.
Yeah.
And then like something may happen in a few months and we'll see.
Yeah, I think that there's
Welcome to the music industry.
You're 1 to 3 quarters behind your production, your productivity.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so you're looking 3 to 9 months. But it's not as hard as like booking a show,
12 months out. And, so I mean, everybody's got to wait.
Wait your turn.
And that's, it's interesting is that like back when I was really doing a lot more sync primarily, God, we were just doing 24-hour, 18-hour, 8-hour turnarounds for replacement stuff. I'm kind of getting back in the flow of more briefs and stuff now, hopefully. And so you get a little bit more time. You get to kind of work on what you're going to be doing instead of like, this is the 4-line brief, turn it tonight. So it's a little bit better.
Are you a good source for people to engage with said briefs if people were to get at you?
Not really. I mean, yes, but like if you can turn music in 6 hours, a fully produced, separated audio, you have an acapella, you have an instrumental, all of that. This is where I find it hard is that whenever I do a call out for like sync stuff, I'll get people throwing me an album from 7 years ago or 10 years ago or 4 years ago. And I'm like, that's great. I need separated things. Where's your Dropbox? Give me your disco link. And so like, if you want to learn how to do this, that's what you need. A disco link. I need acapella. I need instrumental mix. I need a full mix. And it needs to be turned in like 6 hours to 8 hours. And you need to be able to mix it differently if I need it. So it might be a vocals up. It may be, background vocals out. It may be, so there is an art to it. And so I'm loath sometimes to just like let bands, spam me with stuff because often the conversation ends with, do you have your paperwork done? What are the RC codes? Like, have you already registered with it, a PRO, which you don't have to have, like for an immediate sync. But it usually stops with, do you have separated tracks? And like, then I get, well, I can get them. I could talk to the producer. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm out. You're out. So it just, that's why I'm loath to ask for it. But absolutely. You can hit us up, 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. You can hit me, stjamesmedia@gmail.com, or my business one is Michael at St. James Media. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Speaking of music business, did you get deep in the NARAS this past weekend?
Yes. This is the last year I'm probably not going to vote. I'm ready to come back and vote. So I'm a member of the producer wing for NARAS, and there's been some of us who have held out for a while because there's been some fucking problems with the Grammy system. And I think I'm coming back. So I watched this whole year, and we knew some people that were involved in some of the stuff. And so I'll do a little Grammy wrap up for you because it's music Biz Bits. Here's a little Grammy wrap up. Beyonce finally wins Album of the Year.
Ooh, controversial choice.
Did you watch?
I've seen highlights. I did not watch. I was moving.
Yeah.
So
and listen, I know that people have feelings about the Grammys. I saw Rick Beato's latest video. Look, the Grammys are not meant to be a fair, like, look at the whole field of all music in the U.S. That's just not the way it works. It is about the top echelons of music. And it's really about the people that are behind music. So if you are a 2-man operation and you're recording something from home, that doesn't mean that you didn't make a great album. You probably did, or you made a great song or whatever it is. But did you work with multiple mixers and engineers and mastering people and PR people? Yes, it is about people who are involved in the music industry. It's not just people in music, it's people in the music industry. And as being someone who's been involved in the nomination process, in the for your consideration process, of course, you do have to push to get people to. There are 13,000 voting members of the Grammys. And if those people, if half of them haven't heard your music, it doesn't matter whether it was good or not because you didn't make it big enough. You know, that's a problem. There's a lot of people that still don't do the submissions correctly. This is something that major labels are very good at, and independent labels. Because I want to mention, not only, so let me just go through a little list of some things that happened at the Grammys.
Excellent.
Beyonce finally wins Album of the Year. That is a big, massive deal. If you haven't been following along, she has missed out on it multiple times, and probably, honestly, for better albums. For better albums. By the way, if you watch that Rick Beato video, he constantly talks about records. This record, her Lemonade record, this Cowboy Carter record. We're going to talk about that little difference really quick in just a second. But it is Album of the Year, and that matters because there's a legal term to it. So Cowboy Carter won for that. It also won Best Country Album. That I do not agree with. But 50% of the winners, yet again, if you've been listening to this podcast last year, we also said this last year, 50% of the winners were independent releases who were part of A2IM. That just means they're not majors. That's all that means. They're not Sony, Universal, Warner, or Merlin, basically. For the second year in a row, 50% of the winners were independent releases. Now, I want to mention just a few little tidbits here. Did you know the Beatles and the Rolling Stones won a Grammy?
I did know this. I did know because there's been a lot of memes about other people watching the Beatles and the Rolling Stones win another Grammy.
As Green Day and Pearl Jam miss out on the rock record. Look, Hackneyed Diamonds is a really good album.
It is a really good record. Album. Sorry.
I don't know if it is. I know it's, but that's what we used to make records, right? We make records, but they're albums. It's really good. I don't know. It probably shouldn't have won, but you know, that's just sort of. It's got 3 great songs on it. It's not like compared to some of the other albums that were up for Best Rock. Not very good, but that's okay. Whatever.
It's not Jethro Tull and Metallica. That's right.
Anyway, that's taking you back.
Shots fired.
Let me address this real quick because I had a question while I was watching the Grammys, and a few other people asked me about this. What's the difference between Record of the Year, Album of the Year, and Song of the Year? Because a lot of people really do get confused about this. Record of the Year is recording of the year. Okay, so that means the people that win the Grammy are the people who are the mixing, mastering engineers, assistant engineers, all of the people that are involved in the recording process. And it is basically a sound recording Grammy. It's for the sound, it's for the whole vibe of the recording. Now that you got to have a good song too. Rarely is it just the best sounding track of the year. It is a record thing that also has a good performance on it, you know, the whole thing, right? The album of the year is the grouping of songs. So it is a package deal. It is the 10 or 12 or 15 songs of an album. That is the difference between an album and a record. We used to call those records because a vinyl is called a record, right? Or whatever. And then so the album of the year actually goes to all of the people involved in that. So like sometimes if it's if they're credited, sometimes it's the people that played on the album. It's the people who did the liner notes, the people that did the graphics, the people that did the mastering and the mixing and the engineering, all of that kind of stuff, as well as the songwriters and the artist. Then you get to Song of the Year, and Song of the Year is a publishing, basically, Grammy that is for the songwriters. And it's also, that can be a producer thing too, but mostly producer is more on the record side, and Song of the Year is for the songwriters. And it's funny because this came up when Kendrick Lamar won the Best Song of the Year. He brings up all the other people who are involved, like the producers and stuff, and they're like, we won a Grammy, y'all. And I'm like, nope, not on this one, you didn't. Because he was the sole songwriter of Not Like Us. And so it was funny. He had his 4 boys up with, there's 3 boys up with him. Like, yeah, this is about us. And I'm like, no, it didn't. Not this one. He did win all the other ones too. They're going to get a Grammy for the other ones, but they're not going to get a Grammy for Song of the Year. So I hope that clears it up. That's the difference.
I have a question, if I might slide one in here. Has there ever been a case where a non-member that NARAS won a Grammy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, often.
Okay, so you can win a Grammy and not be a member of the National Academy.
And it used to happen a lot with
Arts.
engineers and new producers. A lot of times a new producer coming in, they're not really a member yet.
Cool.
So like a new producer that doesn't have the credits to get into the producer wing, they can win a Grammy and be recognized for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Anyway.
It also happens a lot in non-traditional categories. So like you'll have like a regional, like there's all these weird categories like regional Hawaiian or traditional blues or some Americana subgenres that are in there. And you'll have people who are just like, what the fuck, like, it's just like a regular like Hawaiian band.
Yeah.
I bring this up because I actually knew someone who won one of these, and they're
Weird.
like, what? We won a Grammy? They didn't even know they were up for it because they're just so away from the whole vibe. They just, they're just doing they're putting out CDs and they had no idea. And and I worked with them on a licensing thing. And the guy asked me, he was like, hey, have you ever gone to the Grammys? I was like, no. I was like, I've gotten tickets or whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's really expensive. We just got invited to the Grammys. I was like, well, yeah. And he sent me the thing. I was like, yeah, you're up for Grammys. They're like, for what? And I'm like, for your record, for your album. But it's expensive. Like because the money goes to Music Cares, but you do have to pay for your tickets and you usually only get a +1.
Yeah.
So this is why whenever you see someone go to the Grammys, it's like, do they bring their girlfriend or their mom? Do they bring their boyfriend or their dad? It's like, it's because you got a +1 if you're not a big wig.
Yeah.
So here's another thing that I wanted to bring up. Chappell Roan had a great little speech about how labels should pay for health care and a living wage. And I got ripped from somebody that said, oh, I bet you're going to stand up for labels against what Chappell Roan said because you're all... I don't know, for whatever reason, some stupid people think I'm all major label guy, even though I've never, ever worked for a 3-letter label. Yeah. Nor would I, probably. Warner, maybe, but not most of the other ones. Mm-hmm. And I was like, actually, I'm going to stand up for artists against what Chappell Roan said. So if you're not really sure about it, Chappell Roan made this big, long speech about how she got signed and then she got shelved. And she thinks that labels should pay for health care and a livable wage for the artist. We got you, labels, but do you got us? That's what she said. And everyone stood up and clapped. Here's the problem. If labels were forced to do that, that means that you, being signed to the label, are now an employee. Mm-hmm. That's how health care and livable wage works. If you're an employee, that means that the corporation owns all of your work. It's work for hire. You are an independent contractor if you're signed to a label, or better yet, you're in a vendor relationship with your business and their business. That means they can't tell you shit. They can't tell you what kind of music to write. They can tell you when to turn it in, but they can't sculpt the exact music that you turn in. They can't tell you who to hire as your band. They can tell you who should be in the band and when the band's going to go on the road, but you can choose all of that kind of stuff and they just get a cut. If you were an employee of the label, they would tell you what the album will look like, what songs will be on the album, what songs won't be on the album, who you are going to write with. Here is your producer, no matter what you think. And here's when you'll go on tour, and this is the band you'll be on tour with, and we're paying for your health care and your livable wage.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Chappell Roan, her heart's in the right place. Their heart's in the right place, but they're wrong. They're young, and they don't understand how labor law works, and that's a problem. So you do not want to be an employee of a record label as an artist. By the way, most people that work for record labels don't need a second job. They do pay a pretty good fucking livable wage in LA and New York and Nashville. They do offer healthcare. People are pretty happy that work at Sony or UMG. Even if you're in the graphics or marketing department, it's pretty good money. It's pretty good. Like, you get a lunch. They don't work, it's not a whole lot of 42-hour days and stuff. Yeah. But as an artist, no, you want to be an independent contractor. And unfortunately, that means you take care of your healthcare. What Chappell Roan should be fighting for is universal health care, not tied to employment. And that would take care of it. So there you go.
That was a solid St. James rant right there.
There you go, yeah.
I appreciate that.
And
I agree with you, because the thing about like employment that I think is one of the reasons that an independent contractor position for artists is appealing. If you're employed by somebody, you get told how much you're going to make for how much work you're going to generate, is what you're saying, right? Yeah. And so the way that you get a raise of probably 5% cost of living increase every single year you work for that company, something like that. If you're lucky, yeah. If you are lucky. If you are an independent contractor, your income cap goes away. You have the potential to generate as much money as you could possibly fucking imagine. And then all of that becomes not a concern anymore, like livable wage and all that kind of stuff. But while you're in a system of employment, you are limited. There is a roof on how much you can make.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want that kind of limit to go away? You want a no limits existence?
And there have been multiple lawsuits and multiple legal things, rulings that have been fought about what's called work made for hire.
Yeah.
Work made for hire is a thing that is under an employee contract. If you work for General Motors and you come up with a really cool rotor for a car, General Motors owns that because they've been paying you as an employee. So if you work for Sony as an artist and you come up with a song, that means they own the whole song, all of the song forever. There is no reversion clause. There is no anything. And this was a landmark ruling against Warner that basically was fighting in California saying, well, we do think that a lot of the things we paid for the recording, we think it's work made for hire. They lost. So it is a thing that's been fought for way before Chappell Roan ever touched a guitar. So it's really important that artists understand you want to be an independent contractor.
Yeah.
And better yet, you actually want to be in a vendor relationship with your business and their business. Get a distribution deal, a P&D deal, that kind of thing.
Yep. Fantastic.
Also, last bit of news here. Landmark ruling, the U.S. Copyright Office has finally decided the AI-generated works cannot be copyrighted.
Ooh, that is a slap in the face.
Just a little tidbit there. So for all the people who have been generating AI works, trying to build 1,000 work catalog and then get it copyrighted and hopefully going to sell it to a hedge fund, fuck you. And fuck you, all you AI music companies, and fuck you, Sona, and fuck you. And I'll just go down the list. Fuck you, all of you AI-generated music companies. Yay, Copyright Office. And now, some of us in the legal aspect of the music business saw this coming because copyright is assigned to a business, but authorship is assigned to a person, a personage. And you have to have that personage to where, like, that person, when they die, there's 75 plus years for copyright. There's a lot of rules that have to do with being a living person in authorship. And so even though corporations can own things and all the rest of it, there is original authorship that has to be transferred over. So yeah, fuck you, Sona. Fuck you, AI. Fuck you. All right, let's move on to Turn You On. Let's get to some music. Oh, yeah. We listened to 2 songs this week. This is your homework. I shouldn't say homework. A lot of people are like, hey,
this is joyful.
This is your extra credit. This is your cherry on the top. This is your dessert for the week.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's get to the new song first because, I'm excited about this.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
There is a new artist, kind of new. Vienna Vienna is the name of the artist, and the name of the song is God Save the Queens. Oh, God, I love this fucking song. Go ahead. I've talked enough. You go first.
Well, I also love this song. I think you sent this one like, this is the new song this week. And I was fucking tired. I'd had a fucking long-ass week. I've been busy. I've been doing all that stuff. And I texted you after I listened to it for the first time, because I listened to it probably 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
And said, I was exhausted until about 3.2 minutes ago, and now I feel like I could bench press a Buick, because this song fucking, it is cocaine. It is like just, and I'll tell you what,
in the best ways.
It is in the best way. It is really beautifully produced. It has got energy. It's got vocal filters. It's got layered guitars. It's got stacks of riffs. It's a great fucking super energetic performance, and it is pushing all of the buttons I like to see in my rock and roll. I want you to fuck shit up. This song fucks shit up. The video is fucking kinky as fuck. It slaps.
Send it to your Christian aunt. That's what I told someone.
Yeah.
Let me mention a few things about this song. 2:27 is the running time. And it has a bridge and a breakdown to an outro chorus.
Yeah.
Nothing's missing from this song at 2:27. In and out.
Yeah.
Great dynamics on it. Listen, when I picked this song up, it had 20,000 views. Yeah. It's going to have 400,000 by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
It's probably going to break, some things. He's breaking. So Vienna Vienna is the artist. He goes by Jay. He's from Fresno, out of Hollywood now, operating out of Hollywood. He calls this genre glimmer rock.
Oh, fucking awesome.
I would agree.
I love it, yeah.
Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy is kind of partially behind this. Pulse Records and DC-D2, which is Pete Wentz's company, are part of the release with this. I would also, so there'll be a link in the description and all of that sort of thing. I would also ask you to go listen to Sex, Drugs, Whatever. So now you know 2 songs, God Save the Queens, and Sex, Drugs, Whatever, should give you a pretty good idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
here.
what you're walking into here.
It's a great fucking song, though. Your kids are going to love it.
Yeah.
All right, that's Vienna Vienna. Let's get to the old cut. Back to sort of some groundbreaking shit here. Fiona Apple, Criminal.
Excellent.
It's a song you need to revisit. You need to get back into it, and you need to realize, fuck, there's a mellotron in there.
Yeah.
There's a flute on an alternative rock track. This was from June 1997. This is the 3rd single from her debut album, Tidal. This is the 2nd year of that release. The first year was 96. First song came out, Shout Out Boxer, I think in February. Then she had a release in July. And then she had another release in June of 97. She ran this album for 2 years. It won a Grammy. It was up for 2. Definitely watch the video, because this is why this song hit so hard. It's got sort of a pornographic feel to it in a good way. And I want you to also know this song was initially released and listed. I think you can still see it listed as a blues track.
Really? That's interesting.
This album was listed as Baroque alternative music.
That's
because she does like jazz piano and all of that. But so if you wonder about what's going on with genres, we've always been arguing about this. But the weird hook with the flute and the mellotron, it's a great fucking song. Fiona Apple is a real artist, and this will give you insight into, by the way, and just to understand where this fell in the world. In 97, you're dealing with a whole lot of like pop music and transitioning from heavier kind of the end of grunge into heavier new metal stuff. And just Fiona Apple, no one knew what to do with her. No one, like, here's this diminutive, like, killer fucking piano vocalist and sings a little flat. She sings as flat as Sting. And it's just, she just, sorry, Gordon. But it just, this song just stuck out as just like so fucking fun and weird and sexual.
It is freeing. Sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
It is a very, and the video is very, you're right. It's directed by Mark Romanek. If you need to look at a list of credentials for a music video director, this dude fucking has them. And also one of my favorite music videos of all time, The Perfect Drug, 9 Inch Nails, right around the same time as Criminal. This guy is fucking great and always has a vision. The vision of the video is always amazing. But this one is like, yeah, this was like, I mean, like, I think of this era of music, like with especially with women artists. Like I put Fiona Apple in the same kind of in the Lilith Fair category, but I don't want to be like, you know, reductive on it at all, because like I think of Fiona Apple, like I put her up there with Tori Amos and, you know, Sarah McLachlan and these brilliant fucking lady performers. But she had a unique voice. She had a fucking low, kind of husky thing going on that was just like, I think all the boys, if their balls weren't down by then, they were by the end of the video. Oh yeah, you know.
And it's a little heroin chic, which was big at the time, and it's the video looks like someone's taking Polaroids of you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a fucking great, and you're not, and without your permission too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Criminal, great fucking choice, man.
So yeah, check out Criminal from Fiona Apple and God Save the Queens from Vienna Vienna. By the way, Vienna Vienna is out on the road this spring. Go check out some of the tour dates from Vienna Vienna.
Are they coming anywhere near us? Because
they are. They're coming to Summit in March.
Oh, great. Well, we know people there, so let's go.
Yeah, I think we need to. It's
fantastic.
That's in the zone.
Excellent.
That's the way all the kids will be looking at the two grays in the back like, what the fuck are they doing here? It's like, shut up, mind your business.
Mind your business.
I was on Jay before you. You don't even know. All right, everybody, let's get to the Sink of the Week.
Well,
Mr. Stuart Miller, please take the floor, if you would.
Oh, you put the art back in my name. That was lovely.
Put the art in your name.
I just thank you for that. Last week, me and the lady of the manor finally got to watch Penguin, The Penguin, on HBO Max. Not the cock. Can I call
Max.
it Hobo Max? God, I still can't add the Max. It just doesn't feel right. Anyway, if you're a fan of the Batman, this is a fucking great, and Colin Farrell, absolutely fucking astonishingly good in it.
Dude, was he in it? I didn't see him. Sorry.
Yeah, occasionally when I looked in the eyes, I saw it, but my God, what a fucking, like, what a character. Brilliant character, right? And this expansion of that character, it's, by the way, it starts off in one place, and if you're looking for a pick-me-up, this is not it. It is fucking great. It is so, I mean, the world building is, I got nothing. I loved every moment of it, and I never want to watch it ever again. I'm really curious to see what happens in the next Batman film that Matt Reeves is directing. But this, there were so many scenes I couldn't capture. There's a beautiful drop of some, you know, classic artists and kind of some backstory that I really loved. But the song that popped out to me, and it popped out to the lady as well, was "Only You" by Yazoo. In episode 7, we were both like, "What the fuck is? How do we know this song?" And we had to go down the rabbit hole. But it was kind of a, I mean, they're very much the music they use in this show really does drop you into the time that they're trying to set you in. It's not like, I don't know, Queer by Garbage. Yeah, we started watching that too. That's a callback.
It is a callback.
Yeah, that's great as well, by the way. But it's such a great show, and all of the music is very, I love when you can tell that the needle drops are deliberate. You know? Yeah. Because sometimes it feels like, sometimes we're like, we need a song here. I don't know. Choose that one. The music is beautifully paired with the visuals and the story. It is very well done. I almost chose one of the classic songs from the backstory, but this one was the best song. I was like, because it took me down the rabbit hole of that artist for a while, which I liked. And that is Jen Malone is the soup on that.
Jen.
Shout out, fucking wonderful, wonderful work on that show. Again, loved it. Never want to watch it ever again.
Penguin nominated for an Emmy.
Oh, fantastic.
Also, Colin has already picked up a Golden Globe for the Best Male Actor in a TV Limited Series.
It's fucking wonderful.
SAG nominations all over the place. So, yeah.
It should be.
It's worth your time if you like dark shit. Here's the thing. I go the other way. I know I mentioned this last year on the podcast, but I love this show, and I don't like Batman. Like I'm not against Batman, but I'm just like not a Batman guy. I'm not like, oh, I got to watch everything DC and Batman. And so like if you're not into Batman, you can get into this show. There is no Batman, but like
there is no Batman. But it's Batman adjacent.
It is absolutely. If you're into Batman, you'll be like, ooh, this is cool.
Yeah,
Arkham cool. And all the other stuff that goes along with it. By the way, Christiane Milotti.
Oh yeah, she's
biggest fucking
fantastic.
eyes in the business.
I agree. I was like, we were like, whoa, it's like looking at an anime character.
It is hard to not look at her eyes. The camera is just like...
She's stunning, too. She is beautiful. Yeah.
It's fantastic. So, hey, really great
and
pick.
hell of an actress. Thank
All
you.
right. My sync of the week is from a new show called Paradise on Hulu. Paradise.
But that's not the song.
It's on Hulu called Paradise, Season 1, Episode 1. And... the song, the sync, is Another Day in Paradise, originally made famous by Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, yeah.
But the sync is actually a haunting cover of it by a band called Joyner, Joyner. And this is one of the kind of syncs I absolutely love, because the sync actually originally starts in the show. The character who's playing a president... Michael Marston, I think is his name. Marsden?
Yes.
What's his name?
No, it's not Michael Marsden. It's
James Marsden?
James Marsden.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
He's playing the president in this show. Sterling K. Brown is the big star in the show.
Excellent.
We love him. But so he's playing the president. He's kind of drunk. And he's like, just think about it. He's like mouthing the words and like half singing Another Day in Paradise. Oh, wow. Think twice. It's just another minute. And he's doing that. I love those kind of syncs because you know that if they're paying for that, the song is coming up later.
Yeah.
And it did. It normally comes up as end credits. Yeah. But they didn't get the master from Phil Collins. They actually used a haunting cover, which worked a lot better. Now, I'm not going to tell you a fucking thing about this show, but this. There is a Secret Service agent played by Sterling K. Brown who is guarding the President of the United States, who is now out of office and retired. It is not about that.
Yeah.
You should watch this fucking show before everyone starts ruining it for you. Paradise on Hulu. It goes by very quickly. The first 4 episodes have dropped already. And here's a little story about the Soups are Manish Raval and Tom Wolfe. Manish, longtime Soup, longtime fan of Manish. But here's an interesting story. The song for the actual name of the show was supposed to be called Paradise City. And they wanted to use, in this episode, Paradise City from Guns N' Roses because the president is of a certain age who listens to a certain kind of music, and you will hear some of this certain kind of music from the 80s pop up. They wanted to use Guns N' Roses. Axl and the band said no. Axl is famous for suing people over Paradise City.
Wow. Okay.
They ended up changing the name of the show from Paradise City to just Paradise, and the song in the first episode to Another Day in Paradise from Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Instead of using Paradise City from Guns N' Roses. You will understand all of this a little bit more once you watch it, and I know I am being obsequious about this show, but you absolutely should fucking watch it. This is one of those shows where, I know that I tell you about some shows sometimes where I'm like, I loved it. You don't need to watch it. This is one of those shows where I'm saying, I loved it. You definitely should watch this show.
Yeah.
It's fucking, the turn is crazy. Once you're into it, you're going to be like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming. So it's called Paradise. It's on Hulu. Season 1, Episode 1, Another Day in Paradise. There you go.
Sold. I'm watching that shit. We need a new show around here. We're running out, and fucking Severance is taking its sweet time to come out every week.
It really is. It seems like forever.
It seems like forever being episodes right now.
Because I keep catching it the night before. I mentioned this last week that Friday can, in the new streaming world, when an episode drops on Friday, as long as you're up late enough, it's Thursday. And then I get to Friday and I'm like, ooh, new Severance. Ah. And it says next episode's 8 days away. And I'm like, motherfucker. You got me there.
You got me.
All right, let's get to a little last call. Do you have someone to shout out? Where did you get pizza?
We got pizza at the Atomic Cowboy and Fat Sully's right down the street from the Theater, the Oriental Theater. But that's not my shout out. My shout out is to my buddy Caleb Rappport out in Los Angeles. Caleb is the guitar player in NerdHalen, a brilliant Van Halen cover band with Hal Sparks as the front guy. And Hal is Jack now, and he's but Caleb and his family lost everything in the fires in LA, and they're rehoused, so they're back somewhere. But they got some family shit they got to deal with, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Caleb, and they've got a GoFundMe on his page. He is Caleb Rappport on the. Let me find it here. Yeah, Rappport on the Instas, and you can find his GoFundMe up there.
Very nice.
Yeah, so there you go.
Very nice. I would love to give a little love out to Megan Burtt.
Hell
who
yes.
had an album out in the last year, Witness. She is a fantastic international touring singer, songwriter, producer now as well.
Yeah.
And that's important to mention. So at Megan Burtt, MEGANBURTT, 2 T's for Megan Burtt because she's just that cool. I was talking to a metalhead and turned them on to a Megan Burtt song, and she's not metal.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. So I'm just giving a little shout out. We've known Megan for a long time.
Yes,
and
wonderful songwriter.
She's great, and she's out there, and this album deserves some more love than it got last year, although it's done fantastically well. But I think it should continue into this year. So go check out some Megan Burtt music, and if you get a chance to see her out there on the road, please do.
Yes, I've been in that studio. I think it's the same studio I've been in that she did this in, and it's a little bit up north of Denver, and it's a fucking magical little spot.
Yeah,
they've got up there. Yeah. So anyway,
and her producing is just getting better and better now, and I'm constantly, especially because of the Grammys and NARS and all that, I'm constantly trying to point out women producers that should take Stu's job.
Absolutely. I'm all about it. There you go.
I've seeded the seed. I don't produce a whole lot of outside people anymore. So
yeah.
Yes. But no, there's room for everyone, but we need more women on the boards. Absolutely.
Yeah, we absolutely
All
do.
right, everybody. So that's a wrap for us. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell on YouTube. It really does help the channel. And throw us a follow over there on Spotify. Give us 5 stars on Apple. And you can leave a silly comment over there on Apple Podcasts. We didn't have any silly or dirty comments last week. I guess Apple's having trouble getting them through. I'm not really sure. But you can follow us everywhere where you follow people at 2ShotsMusicPod for fun clips and stuff. And that's the number 2. Shots Music Pod. And until we talk to you next week, we can hear the music coming up. We hope you write a great song. Hey, take care of each other out there. It's kind of a crazy time in this country.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Michael.
Did he put a period on that? No.
I think no, he did not. That was where ellipses. Well,
I used it right, Juliana.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right, we love you all. Right, take care of each other.
So
what a great
Have a great one until we talk to you again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.